I'm back again with another super cool travel backpack. Let's talk about it. What's up friends, I'm John and this is UnPack'D, a place where we unpack all the little details about your favorite bags, etc. and travel related gear. And today we are going to do a full walkthrough and review of the ALPAKA Elements Travel Backpack. If you're new here, welcome. Sometimes I have a tendency to talk the paint off the walls, so please utilize the chapters down below if you want to skip ahead. Just in case you're unfamiliar with ALPAKA, they are an Australian-based gear company with a catalog that can certainly satisfy any of your carry needs. Whether it be a tote, a backpack, or a variety of different gear pouches, they definitely have you covered. Now, I have personally been an ALPAKA customer for quite some time, and my favorite thing about the company is their willingness to explore color. Whether it be their hot pink tech case here, the Elements Tech Case Max, or their high-vis orange pencil case Pro, and even their smaller pouches are not exempt from some of the cool colors, whether it be their new hub pouch in Army Green or the Zip Pouch Pro and this Bahama Blue. I really like that they offer several different sizes and several different colors in all this gear. Super cool. One of my favorite things about ALPAKA. So I'm going to hit you with the tech specs right here on the screen. This backpack is currently available in several different materials and lots of different color options. Right now at the time of filming, it's going to be available in blue, black, army green, and this limited edition coyote color here. It's also going to be available in a couple of different material options like ALPAKA's signature Exoflux 600D and a couple of different variants of X-Packs, X42, and what I have for you right here is the VX21 variant. Now this is a limited edition Mojave collection. It is currently still available on their website, but always double check the website to see what materials and color options are available. Now this particular bag is going to vary a little bit in price depending on what material options you pick. It's going to be anywhere from $249 to $299, but always definitely sign up for their newsletter. You can usually get a discount that way to help knock down the price. And for that price, you're also going to get a lifetime warranty from ALPAKA. Now the Elements Travel Backpack had a listed weight of 3.5 pounds. When I weighed it on my scale, it came in pretty close at 3.6 pounds. But if you add in the hip belt and the accessory straps, it bumps the weight up to about 4.3 pounds. So given the dimensions of this bag at 20.5 inches tall, it's going to be well outside of the personal item size on many airlines. So this is my personal item size or box used across many airlines. As you can see that the backpack is clearly too big. Now to be fair, it is not marketed as a personal item size, and you could jam it in there if you really want to try to, but it does have a flexible frame sheet that you would have to bend. It's about 2 inches too big. Probably best left as a carry-on, not so much a personal item. Now, could you get away with it on a personal item and many of the airlines domestically in the United States? Probably, but do so at your own risk. It's not going to fit in most of the boxes. Starting with the overall aesthetics of the bag, in my personal opinion, this is the best looking backpack in ALPAKA's lineup, especially in this coyote and black colorway. They chose to go with a little bit of a higher bag at 20.5 inches and the depth at 7.9. So what that's going to allow you to do is to gain more of the volume and height and not so much the depth. So when you pack this bag out fully loaded, it doesn't look like you have a turtle shell on you. So something like the GR2 that has that 9 inches of depth, or the CTB 26 or CTB 35, you can really pack those bags out and they really expand and they give you that turtle look. And I'm not a big fan of that big turtle look. I'd rather have the height than the depth. This particular Mojave edition utilizes a VX21 variant of the X-Pack material. So if you're familiar with X-Pack, you know it's going to be super smooth, it's not going to collect dust or pet hair, and it's highly weather resistant. That, in conjunction with all the AquaGuard zippers on all the compartments, even the accessory compartments here, is going to add to that overall water weather resistance of the pack. X-Pack material is extremely durable and can be utilized anywhere on this pack, but I'm glad ALPAKA chose to go with this like ballistic nylon material here on the bottom. Now it's not listed on the website, but I can tell it's some sort of variant of ballistic nylon. Now I have packs that use X-Pack on the bottom and it holds up quite well, but it breaks in, it gets soft, and it looks super wrinkly. While I know it's not going to fail, it definitely looks like it's going to fail. So I really like the choice of this ballistic nylon bottom here. One, for two reasons. One, it looks great aesthetically, breaking up the entire coyote with more black here. And two, that you can repeatedly use this bag and put it down on different surfaces and it's going to maintain that nice look. It's not going to collect dust or pet hair just like the X-Pack material, but it's not going to look beat up like worn in X-Pack does. So this pack consists of 5 outside zipper compartments, and like I mentioned before, they are all AquaGuard YKK zippers. In addition to that, they're also going to be all lockable. You can run a lock through every single one of these zippers with the exception of this front zipper pocket and this side quick access pocket. The bag does feature 2 grab handles here, one along the top and one along the side. They have a decent amount of padding, not the most padded handle I've ever seen, but they're definitely going to help you get your gear out of the overhead bin or off the floor with no problem. The bottom of the pack does have a little bit of padding, but it does struggle to stand on its own, has a tendency to lean forward depending on your pack out. Adding some uniqueness to this bag, instead of 2 traditional water bottle pockets, on this side you're going to have this quick access pocket here, and on the other side you are going to have your traditional stretchy water bottle pocket here. Now, it can accommodate your larger Nalgene 1-liter bottles, but depending on how you pack the inside of the pack is really going to affect how difficult it is to get this bottle in and out. So something to keep in mind, if you're going to carry and pack this bags out to the max, you're probably not going to want to wrestle this large Nalgene bottle in and out. One additional feature here on the side here with this water bottle pocket is this gear strap. Now, I guess technically you could use it as a compression strap, but it's only located on one side of the bag, so you'd only be able to compress this one side. I think of it more as a gear strap. If you're carrying a large tripod or a larger water bottle, you can easily secure it through there with the gear, with this G hook here, and it does include some strap management here with an elastic strap keeper. There are 4 connection points at the bottom of the bag, so you can easily attach the included gear straps. Now these are going to be super useful if you want to attach like a yoga mat or a tripod to the bottom of your bag. They simply connect with these spring-loaded gates, so they're not those other ones that people have to fight. You just really clip them on like a carabiner and they attach real easy. And it does come with your strap management to keep all your gear secure and looking nice and dangle free. So these accessory straps are pretty easy to deploy, and I like the fact that you can easily remove them if you're not going to utilize them, but they are there. You can run your yoga mat and all kinds of other gear through there for additional carry options. Along the front panel, you do have a little bit of branding right here on the top. It's black, it matches the aesthetic of the bag. I don't think it's super loud, but you do have a little bit of branding there. You have this rain flap here to protect the quick access pocket along the front. Now this zipper is not AquaGuard, it is one of the few that are not, but again you have that protection of the rain flap there, so it's going to provide plenty of weather resistance even though it's not an AquaGuard zipper. Moving over to the back of the bag, you're going to notice there's a lot going on. The first thing you're going to notice is these contoured shoulder straps there. It's going to help with the overall comfort with this shape. You do have a set of load lifters up top. Now there is some strap management there that I'm not utilizing, but you could roll up the excess webbing, tuck it in there behind the elastic. There is an adjustable and removable sternum strap. It is also magnetic. Now, I don't think it's listed on the website, but all the hardware looks like it's Woojin, just like this center push button. So again, just like the YKK zippers, these Woojin buckles, you should have no problem with any of the hardware on this bag. Also on the shoulder straps, you are going to have 2 gear loops up front. This one's going to have like a matte black alpaca branding on it. Again, super subtle, not very loud, not very noticeable. And these straps are pretty useful, to hang your sunglasses. Or again, if you're in the hub ecosystem as I am, you can easily use any of your hub equipment to snap in there. You can also use the carabiner if you want to utilize on the other side. So if you're already in the hub ecosystem, this backpack is going to cater to that, obviously, for other Alpaca products. On the back side of the shoulder straps, you're going to reveal this space foam technology that Alpaca has implemented here. Now, I am clearly no rocket scientist, so I don't know if there's true science built into this, like for weight distribution, or it's purely for aesthetics. But this 3D foam here, super cool. Now, you do feel it when the pack is on your shoulders. The lighter the load, the more you feel it. The heavier the load, the more that 3D foam dissipates and it feels just like a normal strap. But even with lighter loads, it's not bothersome at all. You can just feel the 3D patterning of the foam. The back panel does have a flexible frame sheet on the inside. It is not removable, but you do have a generous amount of padding here, especially on the lumbar pad down at the bottom. So all that combined with the shoulder straps and low lifters makes the entire harness system quite comfortable, especially when you're carrying heavier loads. There are 2 additional nylon loops down at the bottom to attach the hip belt of your choice, but the bag does come with its own hip belt. Now, just in case you don't want to use your own hip belt, you can use the one that's supplied. Now, this isn't a WWE Championship belt, even though it is the same size. This is the belt that comes with the bag. It does feature that same 3D foam patterning that you saw on the shoulder straps, so this is going to be extremely comfortable. On the outside, it's going to feature 2 small pockets on each side. Not quite big enough to fit a cell phone, but you can easily stash some snacks in there, and a couple of gatekeepers on the side that you can hook to those nylon loops to help secure the pack all together. But attaching the pack is pretty simple. It slides to the back of this lumbar support that's being held by Velcro. So you just stick one end of the belt through there. It stops on its own once it hits the Velcro. You can attach the gatekeepers there on the nylon loops, and that is going to support an extreme amount of weight, which we'll get to a little bit later in the video. So one last thing to note on this back panel is you do have this luggage pass-through. It can also be used as a grab handle, but do keep in mind and take note that you will have to turn your bag over on its side to load it onto the trolley of your suitcase. Before we take a deep dive on the interior of this bag, I wanted to make note of one thing. Now, none of these zippers are number 10, especially on the main compartment where I usually like to see that big chunky zipper. These AquaGuard zippers are some of the smoothest AquaGuard zippers that I've ever used on a pack. They traditionally have a little bit of stickiness to them, but not the ones here. I'm able to easily one hand all the way around on this empty pack to get into the inside. Now, it's pretty cool. I don't know what variant they're using, ALPAKA's using, but I really like them. So starting off with the front compartment here, again, super smooth zippers all the way around, no problem. And open that up is going to reveal this 300D honeycomb ripstop nylon, kind of like an ALPAKA signature. Now this particular model has a cool gray. I know if you get some other variants, you get like a blood orange, but this cool gray honeycomb looks super nice. I really love the interior of this bag. Really dig that honeycomb ripstop nylon. So this front pocket is going to feature 3 internal zipper pockets, 1, 2, 3 here, a couple of drop-ins, larger drop-ins, and a couple of pin loops. None of these pockets are really big in size, so you kind of have to spread your gear out across the entire pocket. This back pocket is an easy spot to put my bigger, bulkier, rechargeable battery there. And these front drop-ins are going to be the perfect size for field notes. Now, when you travel, it's good to write down important numbers and maybe the number of an embassy if you're traveling. So in case you lose your cell phone, you have a physical copy of all your friends and family phone numbers you need to get a hold of there. You do have your pin loop there. So on this front flap, you're going to have 2 zippered pockets along with this rows of MOLLE webbing here. So that row of MOLLE webbing there is again for your hub accessories. If you are already subscribed to the hub ecosystem, your clips can easily attach there. Your variety of accessories is hub pouch, your zipper pouch. You're all going to be able to clip in there super easy without a problem. But for me in this front stretchy little pocket here, I just threw in my eye drops and chapstick there. Underneath this small little stretchy pocket is an additional little pocket, but it has one additional feature on the inside. It has a spot for an air tag or a tracker of your choice in case you lose your backpack. Now this isn't the most hidden and secret spot to put an air tag. Probably would have liked to relocate that somewhere else on the bag, a little bit more secluded, a little bit more hidden, but that's where it's at, and that's where you're going to put your air tag should you choose to use one. So this front pocket does feature its own volume. So if you wanted to use some of those hub accessories, you can easily tuck those down on the inside. And I also had a space to keep my moleskin notebook. Like again, you can see this 3D pocketing on the front, kind of like what you see on a bunch of bags like by Evergood. It does have a decent amount of volume where you can add some more items into that front admin panel. So this side pocket is pretty unique in itself. It has this cool little pocket within the pocket. And I like pockets like this, especially for security reasons when you're traveling. You can put your passport in there. And this is my ALPAKA up card holder, RIP. They no longer make this. This is my favorite minimalist wallet. That also goes in there, and I can also toss my keys. And the fact that it's a pocket within a pocket just gives me a little bit of extra secure feeling that it's not going to get pickpocketed so easily. And you still have room for more items in there. You can put a full-size 15 Pro Max on that back pocket. It'll fit in there. It does fit with the case. I tried it. And then you have two longer drop ends where you can keep something like my flashlight that I like to take with me when I travel. Easily fits in there. Again, that secure pocket. I feel pretty confident that my passport and wallet and keys are going to be lifted out of my bag. Really enjoyed using that pocket. So this particular pack has one of the most generous laptop compartments I've ever seen in the pack. It's just like a half zip there. When you open it up, you're going to have this microfiber material along the back and a padded sleeve on the front. It's going to have two slots, one for your computer, one for your iPad. And it is suspended. It stops about right here, so you can feel confident whenever you slam your pack down or put your pack down, your device is not taking the entire shockwave there. So what I mean by generous, this is a 14-inch Lenovo ThinkPad devoured into this laptop compartment, and you still have about 5 or 6 inches of space up at the top. So let's try something a little larger. So I don't have a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but I have this piece of wood with the same dimensions as a 16-inch MacBook Pro. And my 16-inch Woodbook Pro easily fits down into the bottom of the bag like so. And I still have plenty of room up at the top. I want to say, let's see what that comes out to. I still have almost 4 inches of space at the top of this laptop compartment with a 16-inch notebook there. So if you have a larger machine, a 17-inch laptop, easily going to fit in there with room to spare. Now I don't have this large device, and I would just travel with my 14-inch device. And sometimes I felt that this space at the top was underutilized, all this space here. So I did carry this bag for a little bit as an EDC because I require a larger bag for EDC. And to utilize this space, I would just put like a notebook in there just to utilize some of this empty dead space. I would have liked to have seen like a quick access pocket. You had plenty of room there, but it is what it is. That 14-inch computer easily swallowed in there, and my 10-inch iPad is no match for this laptop compartment. All right, getting into the main compartment. Again, you're gonna have this wide opening clamshell style, and it's gonna reveal again that beautiful honeycomb interior that we saw in the rest of the bag. You have some more additional rows of moly along the back for again attaching more of your hub accessories or any other pouches that already utilize this style of attachment. On the inside of the bag, you are gonna have 4 stretchy pockets along the sides here. Now again, just like the other pockets in the front admin pocket and everywhere else in the bag, they're just really small pockets. They do have some stretch to that nylon material here, but again, it's all going to eat into the inside of this main compartment. Now this bag is listed at 35 liters, but this main compartment is a little bit shallow in my opinion compared to some of the other bags I've used. But we're going to load it out, and we'll talk about capacity here in a little bit. On this front beaver flap or beaver tail, whatever they call it, you just have your traditional 2 stretch pockets there. This is a great place to add all your cables that you're going to need and all your charging bricks that you're going to need. Large MacBook, iPhone, and slim charger for my other accessories can easily go into these stretchy pockets up front. I am bringing a tech case to carry all my additional camera, SD cards, and batteries and all the stuff of that source. This is the ALPAKA Elements Tech Case Max. And I have my go-to loadout for 5 days, my Peak Design small and medium, and my toiletry bag. Let's get this jammed into this bag. Start with the small Peak Design packing cube down at the bottom. I'll do my tech case there, and then the medium packing cube up top. So as you can see that everything is fitting in there quite snug. For a 35-liter bag, I don't think it should be this snug, but it is what it is. Throw the toiletry kit up top. This is my Gravel Slim. Let's get this bag closed. Here it is, got it closed up, fully loaded. Now I will admit, this 35-liter bag packed a little tight, a little small for 35 liters. It felt more like a 27, maybe 30 liters at the most. But this normal loadout that I used here, I can put in other bags like my Rehose Buddy with no issue, even an extra pair of shoes. So that leads me to believe the main cavity of the backpack is probably pretty small, and while it probably is 35 liters with all the little pockets added up, I would like to have seen some more space on the inside of the bag where you want to keep most of your main items. So again, while it's listed at 35, it felt a little small to me, kind of felt more in the 30-liter range when I was actually packing it out with my usual loadout. Now we're going to get to the bread and butter of this backpack. It's the harness system. So I have this pack fully loaded up so you can see what it looks like on me. So for reference, I am 5'10", but touching back on that harness system, being able to dial it in with the load lifters and the comfort of the overall straps, it feels extremely comfortable. Now I know comfort is subjective to every different person and every different person's body type, but for me, this pack feels almost weightless with all that travel gear. I was so impressed with this pack that I decided to take all the stuff that I have in it. I took out the laptop and I loaded in a 30-pound ruck plate and took this bag out on a ruck just to see what I could truly do with this pack and how far I could truly push this harness. So I have the 30-pound ruck plate loaded up in the laptop compartment, plus my usual travel loadout. So I'm probably pushing upwards of 45 pounds, maybe a little bit more than 45, but everything feels great with the load lifters being able to dial it in. Got the chest strap relieving some of the pressure. And the biggest key difference is the hip belt for sure. So before I put the hip belt on, did a little bit of rucking without it. And the harness was definitely comfortable, but you could start to feel the weight of the ruck plate really coming down on my shoulders. But as soon as I clipped into the hip belt, it did its job exactly. Relieved a great ton of the weight off of my shoulders, distributed it to my hips. And so something to keep in mind, if you're planning on carrying this bag with heavy loads, definitely want to bring the hip belt with you. It does its job perfectly. It's heavily padded. It's got some additional pockets on the side. Definitely recommend if you're going to be carrying some heavier camera gear and stuff like that. But overall, even without the hip belt, I still found it to be pretty comfortable. Really impressed with this bag. Do not try this at home. This is not a rucking bag. There's bags made for rucking. I just really wanted to put this harness through its paces because I haven't had a lot of experience with ALPAKA backpacks, and I just been really blown away by the overall comfort. Great harness system on this Elements travel backpack from ALPAKA. So now that I've had the pleasure of using this bag over the last several weeks in both for travel and an EDC style use case, there are some things that I really liked about the bag. Now, not to sound like a broken record, but to me, the number one feature and thing that I love the most about this bag is the harness system. This is one of the most comfortable backpacks that I have ever used. And that's why I decided to push it a little bit with the 30-pound ruck plate to see truly how comfortable this bag can really be. Now, I don't recommend you rucking this bag. This is not a rucking bag. Please don't try that at home. I don't know if the warranty is going to hold up on you if you somehow damage your bag rucking with it, but on the couple of miles that I rucked with this bag with all of this travel gear, super impressed. Again, I know comfort is subjective to every individual and every individual's body type, but I'm on YouTube to share my own experience because I sure as hell don't make money from these videos. So my personal experience, the comfort was the shining star of this bag. So another thing that I really enjoyed about the bag is its overall design and function. Now, while I still feel that it didn't pack out like a 35-liter bag, I used that to my advantage. I was able to EDC this bag. Now, please don't get me wrong. This is not a small bag by any means. I just require a bigger bag for my EDC loadout, and this bag wasn't so big that I couldn't do it for that. So it was able to transition from a weekend travel into work mode super well with all this built-in organization, and it really shined as an everyday bag for me as well. Again, probably too big for most of you, but for me, it was able to transition back and forth between travel and work with ease. So while I did enjoy all the built-in organization the bag had to offer, I did have a couple of critiques about some of the pocketing. There were a lot of small pockets. You have the 4 small tiny mesh pockets on the inside of the main compartment. You have those 3 small tiny pockets on the inside here, small tiny drop-ins on the inside here. So I would have liked to have seen some of those smaller pockets combined into a larger pocket. Instead of having those 2 tiny pockets up front, maybe just give me that 1 large pocket, especially since you have this dedicated volume there. That could have given me some more space to put like a full-size headphone. Now, could you squeeze one in there? Probably, but having those 2 little pockets combined into 1 bigger one, I think for travel purposes, I would have liked to have had more bigger pockets than a lot of little pockets spread out across the bag. Another small critique I had of the bag was the laptop compartment. Now, when using a 14-inch machine, I had over 4 inches of wasted dead space in that compartment. Now, while I was using the bag, I didn't want to let that space go to waste, so I would put my notebook in there, or sometimes I even managed to stuff an entire sweater in there on top of the laptop just to utilize that dead space and, you know, kind of capitalize on the overall size of the bag. Now, that would have been a good spot to put a quick access pocket up top to drop your AirPods and keys and other little items. I think even with the larger machine, you still have plenty of room in there to put a pocket. And I know you have this pocket up front for those things, but fully loaded like this, I can't use this pocket. And I didn't even load this pocket out. It's extremely tight. So trying to get a pair of AirPods Pro in and out of there, not so user friendly. So I think we could have used that space a little bit better at the top, or maybe gusseted this bottom pocket a little bit to allow for its own dedicated volume. So some final thoughts on the Elements Travel Backpack from ALPAKA. I believe that this is a criminally underrated backpack. And the reason I say that is because when I'm on online forums and in my bag nerd circles, when somebody asks for a recommendation on a travel backpack, I hear the usual suspects every time. The GR2, the CTB26, the Air Travel Pack 3, but I hardly hear people mention or recommend the ALPAKA Elements Travel Backpack. And I think that needs to change. It's time to put some respect on ALPAKA's name. There are backpacks that want to be travel backpacks, and there are backpacks that are travel backpacks. And this is the real deal. This is a real travel backpack. So like I mentioned, I think it's time we put some respect on the ALPAKA name. This Elements Travel Backpack is the real deal. I can easily see myself grabbing this on my next trip, and going forward, this is going to be one of my most highly recommended bags when somebody's looking for a super comfortable travel backpack to go on a trip with. If you made it this far in this video, I want to say thank you very much. Please consider hitting like and subscribe and help me grow this channel so I can keep bringing reviews on some awesome gear just like this backpack here. Thanks. So I've really enjoyed using this pack over the last several weeks, but I want to know what you think of the ALPAKA Elements Travel Backpack. Are you considering purchasing one? If you have any additional questions, just drop me a line. I respond to every single comment. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions about this particular bag, especially of all these little pockets and organization and the integration of the hub system. Do you think that's something that's useful for you? Do you own this bag? I especially would like to hear from you because I would like to know what the comfort level was for you. So if you already own this bag for a while, drop me a line. Let me know what your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know down in the comments. But again, thank you so much for tuning in again to another one of the UnPack'D videos. And I cannot wait to see you on the next one.